The concept of the law of contagion suggests that a connection persists between two people or objects once they've come into contact.
That sounds fascinating. So once they touch, they're linked magically?
Precisely. The idea can be traced back to ancient beliefs, notably highlighted in James George Frazer's The Golden Bough.
I'm curious, what do people think about it today?
It's interesting because even those who dismiss magic often still feel a psychological pull.
And there are modern parallels drawn in quantum physics, which adds another layer of intrigue.
Quantum physics. That sounds like a cliffhanger. So how does it connect?
Well, that's a layered discussion for later. Let's explore the benefits and dangers of this law. There are authentic advantages to it, like the way the holiness of a saint can bless objects, right?
Benefits? I hadn't thought about that. Could you give more examples?
Absolutely. Temples and churches become almost charged spaces through rituals, imparting a kind of safety or positive energy to relics.
And what about the psychics using personal items? How does that work?
Well, mediums often use objects, such as hair or clothing, from a person to establish a connection during readings or seances.
But aren't there dangers too?
Yes, there are significant risks. A sorcerer could use something as simple as a lock of hair to cast a harmful spell, which adds a dark twist to the connection.
Wow, voodoo dolls are related to this too, right?
Definitely. They often utilize personal items to establish the bond with the victim. It's a potent example of how the law is applied in darker practices.
Cultures that practice sorcery are very cautious about their personal items ending up in unfamiliar hands.
It's a fine line between protection and danger. So are there psychological aspects involved as well?
Yes, even those skeptical about magic can exhibit behaviors influenced by the law of contagion.
Can you give me an example?
Certainly. Psychological studies have shown that many people would quite literally avoid wearing clothing previously owned by a serial murderer, even if they didn't believe in the supernatural.
That's incredible. Why does that happen if they don't believe?
It taps into a deeper unconscious belief. This idea that contact leaves a lingering effect creates a built-in aversion.
That's mind-blowing. So are there other examples of this phenomenon in our everyday lives?
Yes, many rituals in various cultures reflect this, but it's worth discussing them more in detail next.
Definitely. And listeners, if you have examples of this phenomenon, please let everyone know in the comments.
The balance of belief, whether conscious or unconscious, continues to shape our understanding along with potentially irreversible links forged over time.
This foundation leads us to explore further nuances and consequences in the next chapter. Trust me, it gets even more intriguing.